the internet has to offer, watched every video titled Best Valedictorian Speech Will Change Your Life on YouTube, and let me tell you, none of them changed my life. What I gathered from my hours of relentless search for inspiration was the one simple fact that those who have delivered the greatest speeches of all time didn't spend hours on the internet looking for inspiration. It was then when I realized I shouldn't be spending my entire summer on bradyquotes.com looking for something some great person once said. I mean, quotes are powerful and they're memorable, and they come in handy when you need a hook for a grade 9 English essay. But they aren't original, and I want to be original. So here goes nothing. The following are my thoughts, and I hope you don't hate them. For those of you that know me, you can attest to the fact that I have a very strong memory. And one of the things I remember from the earliest parts of my childhood is that I loved storytelling. I can still remember staring up at my grade 1 teacher, Mr. Flower, while he read us the Lorax 13 years ago. Now, I'm pretty terrible at telling stories, but that's what I'd like to do today, and I'd like to tell you about a significant change in my life because it's how I learned some of the most valuable lessons that I carry with me today. So as I reflect on my journey to this moment, standing up in front of you here today as your valedictorian, I realized that for myself, high school is separated into two chapters. In the first 2 years of high school, I was arrogant, I was narcissistic, and I lived my life with a sense of entitlement. I'm not proud of who I wasn't a good person, but I'm not afraid to admit that. And if I'd continued on that path, I would not be standing up in front of you here today. However, I believe that within every individual's life, there are certain defining moments that change the course of their foreseeable future. Mine came in the summer following grade 10. You see, 6 hours after I wrote my Mr. Piccolon's grade 10 math exam, I was on a flight with my brother to Italy. I was so excited to finally be leaving suburbia. All I had really known up until that point were the cookie-cutter neighborhoods in Mississauga and my parents' town in India. Now, Italy was beautiful, it was memorable, and you should definitely go. And most importantly, it was delicious. Our itinerary consisted of 5 destinations. One of those happened to be Vernazza, a little village off the coast of northern Italy. One sunny afternoon, as I stood on the platform, waiting for a train to take me to the neighboring beach village, complaining about how my strawberry gelato was way too sour, I saw a woman standing out of the corner of my eye, I saw a woman standing with a cup in her hand. And I couldn't stop staring at her. Her face itself told quite a story. She seemed old, weak, and helpless. But aside from that, she wasn't bothering anyone or saying anything to anyone, and she seemed to be content with the fact that she was standing under the shade. I wondered what went wrong in her life. I mean, I bet her and I weren't that different at one point in time. She probably had dreams and aspirations just like I do. She probably wanted to be happy and live a normal life just like I do. But even though we're both on this earth, even though we're both standing 10 feet away from each other, we live in 2 extremely different universes. As I continued to stare at her, I began to tear up out in the open. At that exact moment, I had these extremely vivid flashes of all the men, women, and children I had walked by here in Toronto, there in Italy, and back home in India. And I felt terrible. Not because I didn't help these people, because there's very little I could have possibly done, but rather, I teared up because in the eyes of these people, I was living a life that they could only dream of, a life that they could never possibly have. And I didn't understand that, or slightly even value what I had, until I was 16 years old, standing on a train platform off the coast of northern Italy. And I was out here complaining about my strawberry gelato being too sour, when I had probably walked past hundreds of children that had not eaten in days. I was embarrassed of who I was, but it was at that moment that the second chapter of my high school journey began. Now, I'm still not a perfect person, and I'm sure all of my friends can attest to that fact, but I do believe that I've changed in a very significant way. See, before my trip, I had this never-ending desire of always wanting more, and it left me never satisfied with what I had, kind of like the one slur from the Lorax. But after the trip, I began focusing on the things that I had been fortunate enough to have been blessed with, and that has made all the difference. My father told me when I was very young that if I tried to count all the blessings I had in this world, I would run out of numbers, and I'm now learning that that's true. So, with that being said, I'd like to take my time up here and tell you guys some of the things that I've come to appreciate about this school. I appreciate any and every teacher that has given up a single moment of their lunchtime to help explain concepts to their students. Mr. Richardson was really good at that one. I appreciate the high ceilings, large windows, nice color schemes that remind me I'm not studying in a jail-like cell, unlike some schools around here. Shout out to Woodlands. I appreciate the fact that I've never, ever felt like an outsider in this school. I appreciate the fact that we reside a simple 3-minute walk from the infamous Sizzles and its $5.99 special. I appreciate the fact that we all help each other out on test days in the library at lunch. I appreciate the fact that people actually come out to home games to express how much we dislike Joan of Arc. I wasn't allowed to say hate, so dislike is the word I'm going with. I appreciate staff members like Mike, who was always smiling, shaking our hands, giving us hugs, telling us to dream big. And most of all, appreciate all of you. Even if we never talked, even if we didn't always get along, I still appreciate you and the comforting feeling that existed coming to school and seeing familiar faces is something that's unparalleled and something that I haven't found at Western. I had the best mentors, best friends, and the best experience that I could have ever asked for, and I'm so happy that I wouldn't change anything about the last 4 years of my life. However, there's one thing that I do believe that we can all try and appreciate a little bit more. And for lack of a better term, it's known as the grind. The process, the hard work, the time you put in to try and achieve your dreams. Because that grind, that hard work is an opportunity. That opportunity is a privilege that most of the world doesn't have. There are so many people in the world that would do anything to be sitting in your chair right now.